Ahead on DC News Now at 4, we hear from Frederick County's longtime sheriff and why he will no longer face charges in a federal gun case. Plus, preparing for a Trump presidency, how DC is gearing up for the inauguration and the next 4 years, the latest from Mayor Bowser.
Honestly, I'm pretty upset.
A sneaker store struggling to stay afloat after being targeted by repeat robbers. We'll talk with one of the owners.
Much colder, more winter-like air is set to arrive tonight. We'll let you know how long this sticks around, and we'll have a look at your winter outlook coming up next.
And how to give gifts this season while not wrapping yourself in debt. We stretch your dollar ahead of the holidays. And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And good afternoon. I'm Annalisa Gale. We start with some breaking news this afternoon. We're learning more about the sheriff in Frederick County. Our Ben Dennis has more. Ben, what are you learning?
Hey there, guys. Today, well, just today, the federal charges against the sheriff were dropped. They were dismissed. He held a press conference today. Sheriff Jenkins, the longtime top cop here in Frederick County, says he feels vindicated. Those charges initially said that he made false statements and conspired with a gun range owner to illegally acquire machine guns. Today in that press conference, Jenkins called this case a malicious personal persecution. Court documents say the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland asked for the case to be dismissed. We don't yet know why specifically, but a judge agreed that original allegation that Jenkins and a gun range owner named Justin Kropp conspired to illegally buy machine guns from 2015 to 2022 to demonstrate them to the sheriff's office, and instead the pair knew those guns were actually for Kropp to rent to his customers. Again, these charges and that case dismissed. Jenkins pleaded not guilty to the federal charges in April last year. Hours after he was arraigned, he took a leave of absence. He put himself back on the job, though, last August. Today, he was asked about his service weapon, which was taken away. That's standard procedure throughout these federal cases. He's got it back.
Got it back, folks. Take a look. This has been pure hell for myself and my entire family and even my friends. I feel like this was an assassination attempt very similar to President Trump on July 13th. I really do, in retrospect. It was a near miss. I was injured and I was bloodied, but I didn't give up the fight. I will never give up that fight. I never will.
And this case is essentially dropped completely. His co-defendant was previously acquitted on this case. I asked the sheriff today, with this personal chapter in his life being set aside, what about the next one? I asked him if he plans to run for re-election in 2026 for a 6th term. He says today is not the day for that conversation. In Frederick County, Maryland, Ben Dennis, DC News Now.
All right, Ben, thank you. Now to Prince George's County, where police are looking for 2 armed suspects who tried to rob a Brinks security truck in Hyattsville.
Yeah, police say it happened as the driver was servicing an ATM nearby. Calls came in just after 10 o'clock this morning off Baltimore Avenue and Jefferson Street. Police say the Brinks driver fired his gun in response. The 2 suspects then left in a minivan empty-handed. Now, feet from where shots rang out, one restaurant employee tells us this is the 2nd incident of this kind in recent months.
And somebody reportedly made off with a lot of cash.
People, they're afraid to coming in and stuff like that. So, but, hopefully it's not going to be that scary.
Our residents did exactly what we asked them to do. They saw something and they said something. They were calling 911 in the middle of the incident. They stood by. They gave us descriptions.
Hyattsville police are still looking for the suspects.
Taking a live look outside on this Tuesday at Roslyn, looking beautiful there as the sun goes down. Let's turn to meteorologist Damon Matson.
Damon, and things are looking okay, but again, like we talked about at noon, it's just sort of been like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, that view out there looks beautiful. The sun, of course, out there in force. We haven't hardly had a cloud in the sky. However, it's only done enough to keep us from being too cold. It's gotten chilly throughout the day, and we have these winds to thank for that. It's been breezy all day long with northerly winds going at around 15 to 20 miles an hour, even gusting a little higher than that throughout the day. These winds are lightening up a little bit, but it is expected to stay breezy over the next few hours as that sun sets and these temperatures start to tumble. We had some lower 60s in D.C., parts of southern Maryland. Right now, Fredericksburg, Culpeper, a couple of the only locations still in the lower 60s. Everybody else is already starting to cool off by a few degrees. And before all is said and done tonight, we're about to see some of the coldest air of the season. Look at this as we head on toward 10, 11 o'clock. We're dropping into the 30s already, and we do not stop there as we head on towards your Wednesday morning. So we'll talk more about this cold blast, how long it will last, and later on in the newscast, we're going to be talking about the winter weather outlook from the weather team here at DC News Now, right as we get this coldest air rolling in. So we'll have all of that and more coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon. Thank you. Well, a New York judge has postponed a decision on whether to undo President-elect Donald Trump's conviction in his hush money case.
His lawyers argue that last week's election warrants dismissing the case altogether so he can run the country. The judge told Trump's lawyers that he would delay the ruling until November 19th. Prosecutors will have some time to discuss what will happen next. And according to emails filed in court, lawyers on both sides agreed to a one-week postponement.
Right now, D.C. is gearing up for a Trump inauguration, both the actual event on January 20th and what it could mean for the district in the years to follow. Now, today, D.C. leaders giving us a better idea of what that may all look like. D.C. News Now's Randy Bass joining us live on Capitol Hill now with more from city leaders. Randy, what are you learning?
Yes, security and construction preparations have already been underway here on Capitol Hill and across D.C. since the beginning of October. With the big day just about 2 months away, D.C. leaders are starting to get very serious about planning not only for Inauguration Day, but for the 4 years that will follow.
Let me begin by congratulating President-elect Trump and his team on their victory.
Typically outspoken in her disdain for the president-elect's plans for D.C., Democratic Mayor Muriel Bowser congratulating Trump today and revealing her efforts to try to reach out to him.
We have communicated with his team and have indicated that we would like to speak. I'm waiting to hear back.
In the meantime, D.C. police are ramping up for both the election certification on January 6th and the inauguration on January 20th.
We've reached out to several police agencies across the United States of America. We hope we could get to 4,000 police officers to assist us in this process. We're close to that number.
Mayor Bowser says she plans to put in a request for National Guard help in January, but that hasn't officially happened yet. President-elect Trump has said he would federalize D.C.'s police force and potentially move federal workers out of the city. But Mayor Bowser says D.C. will make its pitch to keep things status quo if the time comes.
What I think is important for all D.C. residents to recognize, we're not in a new place. We've been in this place before. And what we have done is we followed the law and we defended ourselves.
Now, Mayor Bowser said the district may be willing to defend itself and its home rule in court against the federal government if it does come to that. She says that if that time comes, that legal effort would be led by D.C.'s Attorney General. On Capitol Hill, I'm Randy Bass, D.C. News Now.
Randy, thank you. And we're tracking the president-elect's newest cabinet nominations within the past hour. Trump announcing he's picking Mike Huckabee to be his ambassador to Israel. The former Arkansas governor is a staunch defender of Israel and critic of the Biden administration's handling of the Israel-Hamas war. If confirmed, this would be his first time serving as an overseas diplomat. His daughter, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, had a brief stint with the first Trump administration as White House press secretary. And Trump reportedly plans to also make South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem and name her as his secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. He's reportedly tapping Florida Congressman Mike Waltz to be his national security advisor and Florida Senator Marco Rubio as his Secretary of State. Mark?
And Lisa, the search continues for people responsible for stealing roughly $100,000 worth of merchandise from a Prince George's County shoe store. The break-in happened Friday at Hot Heat Sneakers in Kettering, Maryland. DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us from there with the latest information. Dave.
Good afternoon to you, Mark. Hot Heat Sneakers has operated here at Kettering Plaza for about 3.5 years, yet this is the third time in about a year thieves have broken into this business, according to one of the owners. The most recent break-in happened around 1:30 last Friday morning. Co-owner Julian King told us the suspects got away with just around $100,000 worth of sneakers, coats, and other clothing items. This theft took place about 3 months after thieves made off with a couple of $1,000s worth of items during a free sneaker giveaway. And it's just been over a year since thieves stole $70,000 worth of merchandise in October 2023.
Honestly, I'm pretty upset. Trying to, stay calm, stay positive. It's always business as usual, of course. Nothing will ever make us close or, stop doing what we're doing. But, just the roadblocks, it's already hard enough for me.
Prince George's County Police told us they are talking to witnesses to try and identify potential suspects in this case. You're asked to call police if you have any information. We are live in Kettering, Maryland. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thank you. Nonprofit is paying off the mortgage for the family of a fallen volunteer firefighter. Sterling, Virginia firefighter Trevor Brown died while responding to a home explosion back in February. Now, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation announced on Veterans Day it's paying his family's mortgage along with 40 other families of fallen Gold Star members and first responders.